Hello learners, outlier is an important question in any data science interview. Being a beginner, it is difficult to understand this concept. So how can you get a clarity on this concept? Watch this video completely without skipping and also subscribe my channel for the next update. So first one, let's try to understand what is outlier. I'm just going to explain the concept of outlier in a layman term. So first look at this one, apple, mango, orange, cabbage and banana. So which is the odd one out here? Definitely cabbage, because remaining or fruits here, cabbage is a vegetable. So look at the second example. If I ask you to choose the odd one, which one do you choose now? Exactly, 500 is the odd one out. The same odd one out is an outlier in the domain of statistics, mathematics, or data science. So what is an outlier? An outlier is a data point which is distant from all the other observations. What do I mean by that? You can see 500 is completely distant from the remaining observations like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So a data point that lies outside the overall distribution of the data set is called as an outlier. So I hope now you understood what is an outlier. So if I give any set of observations, we may not be able to precisely find out by looking at the observations, but in some scenarios, if it is too far, if an observation is too far, quickly you will be able to find out that, right? So let us now see why do outliers exist. So we have seen that outlier is a data which is completely deviated from the remaining observation. How does it exist? What is the source of outliers, right? So that can be because of variability of the data. What do I mean by that? Like sometimes when we have the observation, there can be variability. And also it can occur due to measurement error, calculation error, or human errors. Okay, so what are the impacts of outliers? If there are outliers in the data set, what is the big deal? Yes, the outliers always create an impact in the inference of a data set. So it is very important to deal with the outliers. Otherwise, it may also influence mean and the standard deviation. So, if you remember in the previous video of measures of central tendency, we have discussed we can replace the missing value by mean or median or mode. We have also seen that when there is an outlier, the mean value gets impacted by the outlier, right? So mean is the accurate measure to describe the data when there is no outlier in the data set. There are outliers in my data set. I want to represent it as a single observation, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to represent it as a single observation, means I can do 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 whole divided by 5. So that mean is equal to 3. So mean is a single number which would be representing the entire data. But if I have observations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500, the mean value is 85.83. So the mean value gets impacted and it is affected and it is changed from 3 to 85.83 because of the outlier 500. So how can I handle it? Instead of mean, I can go ahead with the median, or else I can remove that 500 and I can represent it as mean. So when to use mode? Mode can be used. If there are outliers also, we can use mode, or the frequency of some data is more. Some data may be repeating multiple times. Even in that scenario, we can use mode. How can we find out the outlier? We can find out the outlier using scatter plot. box plot, z-score or interquartile range. So in this video, we will look into all these three: box plot, z-score and interquartile range. The scatter plot part I will be explaining in the data visualization video. So now look at the box plot. Box plot is a very important tool in data visualization, which is helpful to find out the outliers. Box plot is also called a 5-number summary. What are the 5 numbers? Minimum, maximum, first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. You can see some observation beyond this minimum and beyond maximum. These are basically called as outliers because it is not lying in this range. You can also see a formula here: Q1 minus 1.5 IQR, Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. What is this Q1? What is Q3? What is median? Median already we have discussed in measures of central tendency video. So what is this Q1, Q2 or Q3 and how to find out the outliers? Let us now try to understand this concept with the help of a problem. Right? So all of you take a paper and pen. Okay, so let me solve a problem now. Right? So you can also do it along with me so that you will get a clarity on that. So let me solve a problem 1. Let me write 1, 5, 3, 4, 2. Right? So what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to find out the outliers. How to find out the outliers? So step number 1, you have to sort it down. So let us sort it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second step, find out median. Median is nothing but Q2. Right? Fine. So let us now find out the median. How to find out the median? Number of observations is 5, which is odd here. Right? So if you have missed out the video on measures of central tendency, please watch the video and come back so that you can understand it better. So now how to find out median or Q2, which is equal to n plus 1 divided by 2th term. So which is equal to 5 plus 1 by 2th term. So 6 by 2, which is equal to third item, right? So what is the third item here? You have to look into the one which you have sorted, right? So now here you can see the third item is 3. So what is Q2 here? Q2 is equal to 3. So I hope the second quartile or median is clear now. Let us now go ahead with the first quartile. Q1, which is called as first quartile. Also, we can call it like 25 percentile. So what was the problem? The same thing I'm rewriting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So how to find out Q1? So you have to understand something here. There are multiple approaches to find out quartiles. Okay. So if you use Excel, you will be getting some answer. If you use Minitab, you will get different answer. If you use Python, different answer, because there are different approaches to find out that, and each tool is using different approach, right? So there can be some variation in the answer. Do not worry about it, right? So Q1, let's now try to find out this. So what was the median value that we have already got? This is 3, right? So in one of the approach, I'm taking one approach. So we have to include this 3 also, right? Towards the left-hand side, I have 1, 2, 3. So if I ask you to find out the median of 1, 2, and 3, what would be the median? That is 2. That's what Q1 means. Now let us find out Q3. Q3 is 75%, right? So now this side, right? So you have to take 3, 4, and 5. What is the median of 3, 4, and 5? That is nothing but 3, 4 and 5. The middlemost term is 4. Let us now calculate interquartile range. So what have we done? Step number 1 and 2, median is over. Then get Q1 and Q3. And the next step, we have to calculate interquartile range. Okay. So interquartile range is interquartile range. Range means what? Difference between maximum and minimum. Interquartile means what? Difference between the quartiles, right? So which is nothing but Q3 minus Q1, which is equal to 4 minus 2, which is equal to 2. This is what interquartile range means. Right? Perfect. So now the next step is about our goal is to find out the outlier. How to get the outlier? There is a formula for that. Values lesser than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR and greater than Q3 plus 1.5 IQR are called as outliers. Right? So let's write that lesser than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR. Right? So let me find out that. Lesser than, what is the value of Q1? We have got 2 minus 1.5, I am writing like 3 by 2, right? 1.5, I can write it like 3 by 2 into IQR is 2. So 2 minus 3 is what? Minus 1. Let me write for the another extreme, greater than Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. So Q3, what is Q3 here? Q3 is 4. Again, 1.5, I am writing like 3 by 2 and interquartile range is 2 now. So 4 plus 3 equal to 7. So what can I conclude over here? Any value lesser than minus 1 and greater than 7 are outliers in this data set. But here I had the numbers from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that there are no outliers in this data set. But this is the way to find out the outliers for odd number of observations. Right? So let us now try to do for another problem with the even number of observations. Right? Again, as I told you, if you come across any other videos, any other article, any other research paper, people solve this in different way. Again, remember, there are different approaches. So let me give you a problem now. 139, 140, 140, 141, 141, 142, 142. Let me write 143, 143, 144, 144, and 155 maybe. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So how many observations are there? 12 observations. What is step number 1? We have to sort it down. Is it already sorted? Yes, it is sorted. So step number 2, we have to find out the median. Even number of observations, how to find out the median? Again, remember that video we have discussed half of n by 2th term and n by 2 plus 1th term. So which is equal to half of, how many observations are there? 12. 12 by 2 means 6th one and 6 plus 1, 7th one. Right? 6 and 7. So let me see which are all 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 7. Right? So what would be the value now? Let me write half of 142 plus 142. So what is the answer now? 142. What is this? Q2. What is this second quartile? Which is also called as a median. Right? So let us now get Q1. Right? So how to find out the first quartile for even number of observations? So n plus 1 by 4th term. So how many observations are there? 12. 12 plus 1 is 13 by 4th. So if you divide 13 by 4, we will be getting like 3.25. What does that mean? Size of 3, right? So that is nothing but third item plus 0.25, right? 0.25, 12 observations are there, right? 0.25. So what do we get? 3, right? So which means that I'm writing 0.25 because we are just trying to do the first quartile, right? 0.25 of, right? And then here I can write 141 minus 140. So what is the third item? Third item here is 140 and the fourth one is 141. That's what I have written here, right? So 140 plus 141 minus 140 is 0.25. So what is the answer now? 140.25. Correct? Let us now try to find out Q3, which is nothing but third quartile. So 3 into n plus 1 by 4. So 3 into, what was the one we got before? I think it was 3.25. So it is basically 9.75. How to go ahead with that? Size of 9th plus 0.75 into size of which item now? 10th minus 9th. Right? Why 10th minus 9th? Again, like 12 observations, 3 by 4, right? So size of 9th, let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 143, right? Plus 0.75 into, what is this? 10th one, right? 10th and 9th. So 9th already we have seen that 143, 10th is 144. So what would be the answer now? 143.75. What is this? Q3. So let us find interquartile rate, which is equal to Q3 minus Q1. 143.75 minus Q1 is 140.25. So what is the answer we will get now? 3.5 is the interquartile range. How do we get the outliers? Lesser than Q1 minus 1.5 IQR greater than Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. Right? So lesser than, what was the Q1 value we have got already? Exactly 140.25 minus 1.5 into IQR, we got it like 3.5. Likewise, greater than, what is Q3 here? 143.75 plus 1.5 into 3.5. Calculate it now. Right? So when you calculate, you will be getting a value here. You will be getting a value here. So value lesser than this, greater than this answer are called as outliers, right? So I'll give you time, quickly do it, quickly do it. Yeah, so you'll be getting it like 135. Do for the second part also. Yes, you are right. 149. So any value lesser than 135 and greater than 149 are called outliers, right? So let us see 135. We don't have any value lesser than 135, right? 139 only we have. And for the upper extreme, what are we getting? 149. Right? For the upper extreme, we are getting it like 149. Just check it out. Right? So these are basically called as the outliers, right? I hope the concept is clear to everyone, right? Yes. So if there is any change in this Q1, Q2, Q3 according to the tool you are using, then it's not a big deal, because according to the tool, according to the statistics, definitely there would be a small change in the values. So no need to bother about it, right? So I think you got a very good understanding about the theoretical concept. Let us all meet in the practical concept video. Thank you.